and I felt sad for myself and like others who aren't aware of this and who are suffering from a lot of the disconnection that I am. So I don't know if that answers your question, but what do you have for that?
Yeah, so what you're speaking to is the illusion of separateness, like you're feeling that disconnection. And then there's this grasping for something externally to help you feel connected in some way. And we all grasp for things. We all have our vices. For some people it's scrolling social media, other people it's food, other people it's drugs, sex, porn, like there's exercise. Anything can be addictive if you're using it as a way to escape rather than to actually intentionally bring you back further into connection. Because the thing is, most people that I talk with express some level of feeling empty or disappointed or shame after they indulge in something like porn. Not always. Depends on, I think a lot of it depends on the intention, the why behind it. What are you trying to get from it? Excuse me, I have a tickle in my throat.
All good.
Yeah, what are you trying to get from it? And so if we're wanting to feel connected, if we feel disconnected, portaling out on a screen, being on autopilot is not actually going to bring us back into connection. And I think this is something so interesting and challenging and really tragic in a lot of ways in our current culture in the state of technology is that we have so many things pulling at our attention all the time. Our attention span is super fractured. I was just talking about this yesterday, actually, how even you were talking about like looking at the screen, but then pulling out your second screen and you're doing three things at once, but you're not actually accomplishing or doing or being present with anything. It's not even about accomplishment, but there's not even like a quality of presence there. And so we can feel really busy. We can feel just like this information overload, but there's no true depth of experiencing the moment. And before all this technology, like what do you think people did? Like they weren't constantly looking for the next thrill, the next dopamine hit. That came through connection with self, with nature, with other. When the sun went down, it was dark, perhaps it was cold, and like what were you going to do with that time? You were probably going to make music, make love, story tell, talk with your friends, sleep, rest, like there wasn't all these artificial light blinking things with all these new sensory overload just pulling at us. And we're in such a culture of instant gratification that can make it so hard to be present with anything. And presence is how we fill our cup. Otherwise, we are completely ignoring the now. We're always projecting into like the future or the past. So if we're never right here, how are we going to feel fulfilled? Because we're actually absent from the moment. So I think when we are constantly reaching, we're saying no to the doorway to the divine that exists right here, right now, in every single moment, no matter how that moment looks. And we are constantly turning away, saying, no, not this moment, not here, not now. I need something else to try to fill my cup. I don't want to bring forth the effort it takes to be present with this moment. This moment is not presenting in the way I wanted it to or the way I expected it to, and I'm just scratching the surface of it and projecting my attention elsewhere. But what if every single moment was sacred? In tantra, everything is seen as sacred. The profane, the mundane, it is all sacred. And so everything is a doorway to the divine that we can choose to step through if we want to, but most of us are procrastinating, saying, no, not here, not now. There's something better to do over here, but somehow I still feel drained. I don't feel complete. I still feel disconnected. So, what does it mean to actually sink your teeth into this moment and to sink your teeth into life's juices even when they're sour? Like, what can I receive from this moment, whether it's intense, whether it's boring, whether it's sad or lonely? What can I receive from it when I really open to it and I really lean in to be present?
Wow. Fuck yeah. That's incredible.